Good evening and thank you for joining us. One man is dead following a two-vehicle collision near Minburn. Vermilion RCMP say it happened early this morning on Highway 16 between Range Road 94 and 95. Police say the driver of a pickup was traveling west when he lost control and rolled. The truck was then struck by an eastbound semi. The driver of the pickup died at the scene. No one else was injured. Road conditions are believed to be a factor. The investigation continues. Well, with the Lloydminster by-election just around the corner, hopeful MLA candidates are continuing their campaign until people hit the polls next week. Many Saskatchewan residents got to meet and hear from the nominees as the Lloydminster Chamber of Commerce hosted an all-candidate forum at the Civic Centre last night. Bart Pediasic was there and has more.
If there's folks here from Alberta who are interested in the debate, I think that's a good thing.
While the snow outside may have kept some voters at home, it didn't stop nominees from touching on some hot topics. 4 out of 5 candidates took part in the debate, with only Randall Edge from the PC Party of Saskatchewan not present.
This government is spending on things that are harmful, lean, pet project, and healthcare. They are throwing good money after bad with a dangerous smart meter fiasco, and even growing their own sense of self-entitlement.
We have seen unprecedented growth and prosperity. Our young people, including my own children, are no longer leaving this province in droves as they did under the NDP.
Current government spending is a big platform when it comes to the NDP and Liberal Party, with both candidates saying the Sask Party has dropped the ball when it comes to paying off the provincial debt.
This government has a spending problem. They have $5 billion a year that they've been spending every year more than what we had back in 2007. So it's an important that we receive. I don't think this area is getting a good deal for that $5 billion.
The Sask Party, they had the opportunity. They had the opportunity to free spending at 2% of the rate of inflation until our debt was retired. They would have retired our debt. We would be saving $533 million on debt repayment, on interest, that could have been put into the healthcare system.
On the other end of the table, Luke Bonsan from the Green Party focused his attention on the small oil royalties in the province, saying it would help solve the debt.
There's no reason why provinces can't get together and say, we have all these natural resources. If you want them in Canada, we're not going to give them away for less than a cost for infrastructure. That's ridiculous.
A major moment of contention did happen after Sask Party candidate Young was asked if the government was going to add more social housing options to the city, answering that while they support community initiatives, the province isn't interested in getting into land development.
That's work that needs to be done with city and those kinds of developers in order to create housing projects that work for a community.
The reality is with the housing market the way it is now, it's very hard for a lot of young people to buy homes. Lloydminster has a problem with retaining people past a certain age because they reach the point where they want to buy a house and they tend to leave.
I've been involved in the construction industry for 25 years, and in those 25 years I've worked with developers. I know what's at stake for them. They'll come into an area, create urban sprawl, because they want a land piece that is housing 600 units. They don't want to do infill housing. This is where the Saskatchewan government has to become involved to fill this infill housing in all urban communities in Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan residents hit the polls on November 13th. Bart Pediasic, Newcap News.
Now, if you can't make it out on the official voting day on November 13th, other options are available. The advance polls for the Saskatchewan by-election open tomorrow. Now, on November 6th, 7th, and 10th, the polls open from 2 p.m. until 9 p.m. That's Mountain Time. And on November 8th and 9th from 11 until 6 p.m. Now, to vote, you can head to the following places. You have Pierceland Community Centre on 4th Avenue South in Pierceland, Kinsman Community Hall in Paradise Hill, and the constituency of Lloydminster Returning Office on 50th Avenue here in the city. ID with your name, photo, and address are required to vote. If you don't have a driver's license, Tim Kidd, the spokesperson for Elections Saskatchewan, says other options are available.
You could bring 2 other documents, one which has your name and one which has an address, something like a health card or a utility bill. And then there's always a third option, which is swearing an oath and having an eligible voter vouch for you. Unofficial results will be posted the evening of November 13th.
Well, Cold Lakers will have another option when they choose to travel to Edmonton. Red Arrow Bus Line celebrated the beginning of service out of Cold Lake this week, which will fill the gap that was left behind when Greyhound stopped service last year. Fraser Snowden reports.
The new service was welcomed with a ribbon cutting. Travelers can now ride a luxury Mercedes shuttle with leather seats and all the amenities to the city.
Things we just really seen the opportunity for us, and you know, we wanted to bring service to the community, and from our standpoint, this is for the community. These trays are full down.
The 13-passenger shuttle service will take you to Edmonton along the routes of Bonnyville, Smoky Lake, Gibbons, and if you like, the Edmonton International Airport for an extra fee, which really has people talking.
Cuts down on all the traveling, the hassle, don't know what the weather's going to be like, and then the parking, the cost of parking, and finding your car under all the snow when you come back.
This is wonderful because I have seniors in my life that can now go to Edmonton and back without having to get a ride. My daughter's a student at in Mount Royal University in Calgary. Now she can come home without me having to go down to the city.
A trip to the airport can cost more than $200 with gas and parking, and that's not including a hotel. Red Arrow Edmonton is $65 one way, $85 to the airport, with power and Wi-Fi for your laptops.
Well, 3 days a week to start. We're going to operate Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to Edmonton and the Edmonton Airport. And then Sundays and Thursdays, we're going to connect to Grassland for Fort McMurray service.
But the service could change depending on ridership.
If there's going to be demand, we're absolutely willing to expand the service, expanded schedules, potentially a larger full-size coach.
Service begins on November 13th. For a full schedule, visit redarrow.ca. In Cold Lake, Fraser Snowden, Newcap News.